Alright folks, we've covered the electrics, but now it's time that we take a look at Epiphone's inspired by Gibson acoustic lineup. Let's delve in. Alright, now by this point everybody knows that Gibson has undergone massive changes over the past couple of years. They revamped their whole USA lineup of electrics and acoustics, and last year we saw a return to form for their electric guitar range from Epiphone as well. They really put a lot of time into kind of getting back to basics and giving players what they wanted out of the original line of Epiphone electrics. Now though, I want to take a closer look at the acoustic side of things, the one thing that we haven't covered yet. So this is the inspired by Gibson Epiphone acoustic lineup, and simply put, this is kind of what everyone wants out of Gibson style acoustic guitars. They just want the classic model designs. It's something that Gibson have come back to understand now with their electric guitars and their acoustic guitars, that players really know them best for their classic designs of the 50s and 60s, and really 9 times out of 10 when a player wants a new acoustic guitar, they're going to look to those classic designs as a reference point. Maybe you want some more modern features on board to aid you if you're going out to play live gigs or to record, but at heart you want those classic elements that made up the best acoustic guitar designs of history. That's exactly what this inspired by Gibson lineup is all about. So I've got 4 different guitars here. We've got this classic J45, I've got a Hummingbird, I've got a J200, and then if you want a slightly more modern spin, I've got the J45 with an extended cutaway. And that's about it. There are other acoustics in Epiphone's lineup right now, but this inspired by Gibson collection is kind of the top of the line. There's some really nice features on these guitars that I just want to delve into in a little bit of detail today. But I just want to let the guitars sell themselves to you, and I want you to understand just how good these things sound, not even compared to anything else, but they just sound fantastic in their own right at kind of portraying the best elements of classic acoustic guitars. So I've talked before about Gibson acoustics, and we actually covered the, at the time, brand new Gibson original collection kind of revamp of their acoustic lineup. Similar models in the range to what we've got here, a little bit more fleshed out, a few more options. But I remarked in that video that I love the sound of Gibson acoustics. They kind of just signify the tone of mid to late 60s classic rock albums to me. And they're just strummers. They're great, aggressive strummers. If that's your thing, maybe if you're predominantly an electric player and you dabble with a bit of acoustic, I've always thought that Gibson style acoustics are some of the very best for that, because they're really easy to play. They've got a very musical sounding mid-range, and they never sound too offensive. They just kind of compress and squish in a nice musical way. And if you're not necessarily a great fingerstyle acoustic player like myself, if that's not your strength, then if you just want to lay into an acoustic guitar, I tend to think that Gibson style acoustics are pretty much as good as it gets for that. They are more versatile than I'm giving them credit for, but that essence and that spirit that Gibson certainly embarked on with their original collection, I think has filtered down really, really well to this Epiphone inspired by Gibson collection. Now obviously there is a very strong link there in the name alone. So there's a lot to live up to with these guitars, but I think they deliver on quite a lot of the promises that Gibson and Epiphone have decided to put into these guitars. So let's take this J45 for example, one of my favourite acoustic guitar designs of all time, and I think they've done it considerable justice. So you've got full solid wood construction, fully solid mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck. It's a quite comfortable kind of rounded C-shaped profile on the neck, Indian laurel on the fingerboard, and that's about it. You've got the classic sunburst finish. These guitars come equipped with Fishman pickup systems, so you've got the Sony core pickup, undersaddle pickup with a Sony tone preamp on these guitars. Really simple volume and tone on the inside. So it's nice and discreet. It looks like a classic guitar, but you've got some more modern functionality there with an onboard pickup. And the playability of these things, like I said, particularly for strumming styles, I think is kind of, the nail has been hit squarely on the head. It also responds quite nicely to fingerstyle, and kind of, if you want to get a bit more adventurous and get up the neck, you've got the really cool extended cutaway version of the guitar as well. Okay, so the second guitar I've got for you here is obviously another take on a classic Gibson design. If the slope shoulder dreadnought isn't your thing and you want the more traditional square shoulder dreadnought, then that's the Hummingbird. Once again, just a great recreation of a classic kind of, I would say this is more of a slight 60s feel. The neck feels a little bit slimmer than the J45, so maybe if you want something with a bit of a slimmer profile, it's still a nice comfortable C shape, but you've got a little bit more of a premium feel to this with the binding around the fingerboard this time. Gold hardware as well, which I just think adds a little bit of a premium touch, only on the tuning pegs there, but it actually just makes quite a big difference to the overall aesthetic and feel of the guitar. I went for the cherry sunburst option on this guitar. I think it looks the best on a Hummingbird. Once again, solid wood mahogany on the back and sides, Sitka spruce top on this guitar, as well as the J45. Really nice, quite open-grained mahogany neck as well. Just really, really comfortable. And I always think these guitars sound a little bit brighter maybe than a J45. So if you maybe want a little bit more of the Martin kind of tonality at the same time as having that Gibson signature mid-range, the Hummingbird is a really nice sweet spot for that. Okay, guitar number 3. Now this is the one that surprised me the most because, in all honesty, if you weren't to look at the headstock, would you be able to tell that this was not a Gibson guitar? I think this antique natural finish that they've applied to this J200 model looks fantastic. And you can get this finish as well on the Hummingbird too, but this just looks totally at home on the larger body of the J200. So if you know your Gibson history, you'll know this is one of the most recorded acoustic guitars of all time. Solid maple construction on this guitar, once again with a Sitka spruce top. Same deal with the neck. It's actually a maple neck with a mahogany insert strip in the middle. Really nice tone out of this thing. It's just a great big bold strummer, but it sounds quite nice for fingerstyle and capoing up the neck as well. Same kind of premium feel to this guitar, same Fishman pickup on board. So it's just a great utility instrument, and if you've always wanted a J200, or if you've always wanted a Hummingbird or a J45, this is kind of one of the best recipes around for the price, I would say. It's great value, it sounds really good, and it definitely captures the spirit of all of these iconic Gibson guitars. And one thing I will say is really important with these guitars as well is the finish. So rather than being a satin or a gloss finish, they've gone for this aged gloss finish, which is kind of somewhere in the middle. It adds a really nice vintage sheen, and it does stand out when lights are on it. But at the same time, it's not super glossy and super modern looking. You can tell that this kind of has been designed to look a little bit older without going down the relicking route or anything like that. And it's kind of along the same lines as Gibson do with their VOS finish. It's not quite the same level of detailing in that finish, but it feels great, it feels really comfortable. It's not super squeaky, and it doesn't give you that kind of brand new, fresh out the box, fresh off the line kind of feeling. It feels like it's been worn in just a little bit, which we guitar players tend to like. Okay, last guitar I've picked out today is the EC version of the J45. So same principle with all these others, but you've got an extended cutaway. So for the player who wants a little bit more of a modern twist on these classic designs, you've got this. So it makes it a little bit more playable, well, a lot more playable in fact, to get up to the high frets. You've also got a different pickup system on this particular guitar. It's got Fishman's Precis 2 in here, so it's a little bit more involved. You've got an onboard tuner, some EQ, and some phase correction tools as well. So a little bit more advanced. If you're a gigging guitar player, this is probably going to be the primary choice for you. But it's nice that it's still got the same aged gloss finish, the same neck profile, the same feel and general tone that the other more kind of vintage correct guitar specs have as well. Now I want to give you an idea of how the pickups sound in relation to the mic setup that we've got as well. So I've recorded both this guitar and the Hummingbird, just a really simple clip on each so that you can hear a direct comparison between the pickup sound and the live in the room with the mic sound. Alright folks, I hope you've enjoyed this overview of Epiphone's inspired by Gibson lineup. It was about time that we got to the Epiphone Acoustics, and I think they've delivered. These are really impressive guitars, really great value for money, really nice to play, and they've just got the very best attributes that we all love out of classic Gibson acoustics. But I would like to know what you think, so let me know in the comments which of these 4 guitars you would pick and whether you think Gibson acoustics kind of deserve all the praise that they get and being such iconic stature. I personally do. I think they're brilliant guitars, and I think these Epiphones do a good job of paying tribute to that. As a bonus question, just to make sure that you're paying attention in this video, I want to know in the comments as well, what's your favourite track that's ever been recorded on a Gibson acoustic guitar? Let me know. If you'd like to find out any more information about these guitars or any of the other Epiphone or Gibson products that we stock, then click the links in the description below and head to our website, peachguitars.com. If you've enjoyed this video as well, make sure you leave us a like down below and that you're subscribed to the Peach Guitars YouTube channel. So that's it for this time. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.